sometimes patients have a question for me, and when I first started practicing, it was very, very difficult for me to answer this question because I felt that as a chiropractor, I should never have back pain. So the question is, as a chiropractor, do you ever suffer from back pain? And the answer is yes. It is. Hey guys, Dr. Jeff here from Newman Chiropractic and the Newman Experience channel. Chiropractic is not a immunity shield that when you come in and we treat you and we adjust you, a chiropractor, we are not making sure that you are immune to any sort of back pain or injury going forward in your life. You are in the office for a period of time. We treat you, we educate you as to how to not injure it, but we cannot prevent stuff from happening when you're outside of the office making your own decisions. We all know we make stupid decisions. I make them too, and I'm not paying attention at all times to my movement patterns. The goal is to become more and more efficient at your movement patterns so that you don't end up suffering from back pain. But even as a chiropractor, I do suffer from back pain at times, and it always tends to revolve around times when my body is in an exhausted state. All right, so if I were to travel and I'm sitting in a plane, that time sitting in the plane without getting up and down and moving around is a very exhausting time frame for the back. I know it's a sedentary position, but our back exhausts during that time, and it's kind of confusing, but our sedentary seated positions do exhaust the back. So the stability musculature is exhausted, right? And then we go and do activities, and during those activities, the back can become strained. So it's all about the habits that we adopt. I mean, when I was younger, in my 20s, my lifting mechanics, even as a chiropractor, and even as a college athlete that had a trainer watching him during all of his exercise, I still irritated my back on a regular basis. I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought I had the right technique, which obviously I didn't. And I ended up wearing down my back to the point that I ruptured a disc and I lost all feeling in my left leg. My left leg went completely numb. I had pain shooting all the way down that sciatic nerve all the way to the tip of my toes, and then at times it would be on fire. It took me a long time to recover from that without surgical means. I didn't have a cortisone injection, I didn't have surgery, and I realized by experiencing that injury just how debilitating that injury can be. So I made it a point to really try to experience this recovery without medicine so that I could help guide my patients who suffer from the same injury. I am not against the medical route with this type of injury because it is an extremely debilitating injury. It took me some time and it took a lot of trial and error in terms of moving around. But what I was able to learn, and I was willing to learn, again, because of my profession, I was willing to invest in this process. I learned a lot about the way that we should move around, and I have adopted a lot better movement patterns in life, right? But I still end up having times when my back becomes exhausted and it is prone to back flare-ups. And it tends to revolve around times, like I said at the beginning, that my back is exhausted. And that usually happens around times that I am doing activities that my body isn't used to at that point in time. So if I hadn't run for a bit and then I go do a run, my back will be sensitive later on in the day after that run and maybe the next day. But if I continue to run, then my back becomes less irritated by that activity. It's all about training your body to handle the activities that you're trying to perform throughout the day. So if I went and played basketball, again, I may be sensitive in the back after the basketball game. I may be sensitive the next day, but I'm not going to stop playing basketball. That's not an activity that I should stay away from. That's an activity that my body has to re-educate and retrain how to perform at an optimal level while I'm playing, and my back will become stronger. The best thing about the back is that there's a lot of stability musculature and a lot of support musculature back there that we can always re-strengthen, regrow, and then help stabilize around any potential injury that has happened to the back in the past. So yes, even though I'm a chiropractor, and even though I have a wealth of information and education as to how to prevent back pain, I still do suffer from back pain because we are human and we live in this world that has a lot of I mean, we're very vulnerable to back pain with the world that we live in today. So we just got to keep in mind proper movement biomechanics that we talk about in the office, that we talk about in some of these videos, and that will minimize the amount of back pain flare-ups that we end up suffering from going forward, okay? So I hope you liked this video. Again, I think that this one was a great question. So make sure to subscribe below so that you get the Newman Experience channel notifications when new videos come out. All right, I'll see you soon.